Hello, I'm back. This should be a quick video because I'm in a hurry, and it is just going to be an unboxing and my thoughts on this fragrance as to whether or not I think it might have changed formula. So you'll know what the fragrance is because I put it in the title, but here's the box, just literally arrived, and I got it on eBay, but I believe it is a brand new box. I believe it's a brand new fragrance, and it is in the new packaging. I think it's boxed. I think that's what I was trying to say. It's in its original box. I believe it is unopened. So just like ransacking this parcel. I love eBay because you never know what kind of packaging people are going to use. My packaging is yeah, very varied. I'll reuse anything, like boxes of cat food can be repurposed to send things on eBay. And this is in a Christmas decoration box, snowflake cluster lights box. So that's great, I will reuse that. And nicely packaged. Okay, it's another box. I thought this was going to come. Oh, it is in its box. It's in its box. It's like a Russian doll, revealing a new layer each time. So yeah, it's brand new, sealed Pomelo Paradis from Atelier Cologne. I have talked about this fragrance quite a lot way back, quite a few years ago. I had a giant bottle of it, and I think it was a 200ml bottle, and I used it loads for a couple of years. I was wearing it a lot, and then it kind of just fell off my radar because of shiny new things, and it sat there, and then when I did go to smell it, it smelled slightly off. Something had gone wrong in it, which is to be expected. I had had it quite a few years by this point, and it is a citrus fragrance. Citruses are very volatile and they don't necessarily keep very well compared to more of like your stronger base note type things like vanilla and resins, and all of that are going to last forever, but citruses are very, very delicate. So it did go slightly off and I had to get rid of it, and I didn't feel the need to repurchase because I hadn't been reaching for it for so long. But recently, I said in my last video, I got back into really sort of thinking about and try and purchasing fragrances again. I'm not trying to, it's just happening. I don't want to be buying too much stuff because I don't want to get overwhelmed by my collection. So one thing that I'm doing is anything new coming in, I am forcing myself to get rid of something else so that my collection doesn't really grow. So anyway, yeah, here we are. Here's the box. So I believe this is the new packaging. Well, I know it is. This is the new packaging for Atelier Cologne. They've repackaged every single offering, I believe, and I like the original. I think I've heard other people say the same thing, they prefer the original. And there was an original Pomelo Paradis bottle on eBay that had been used a little bit, but my worry was, what if that's gone off? So I didn't go for it. Oh, it's not new packaging, it's old packaging. I'm kind of pleased about that. I like this better anyway. So yeah, this is old packaging, so it shouldn't have changed. I can smell it sort of already. And I am fresh and clean here. Yeah, that's what I remember. Orangey grapefruit. Really zesty. Hello, baby. Wait, what? Are you there? Can I see you?
Everyone can see your shitty.
Hello, baby. I'll just be a second.
Everyone can see your shitty home now.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a bit messy because I'm midway through cleaning up, and then a parcel arrived and everything got abandoned. So there we go. This
smells fruity.
you correct? Any ideas on what sort of fruits? fruit family?
Peachy. Lemony. Strawberry.
Oh, stop.
Lemony.
Grapefruity?
Yeah.
I think there's a bunch of citruses in there.
In a lemony sort of way.
In a lemony sort of way. Oh look, she didn't run away from you.
Yeah.
The cat's...
You must have kept feeding her.
Cat's been a bit shy of Pete lately, but she seems to be okay now. So I'll come back to this anyway. But it smells like it should. It smells how I remember it. It's really, really zesty, really fresh. Loads and loads of citrusy, sort of sherbety feel to it. So I'm really happy with that. Happy to have it back. And that's it really. I'll be back with more. Hello, I am back. So it's the next day. It's actually the next evening. And I have forgotten what we were doing, but we were doing something with this. So I was saying that I thought I had a new bottle, and in fact it's not. It is the original bottle, which I'm really happy about, by the way, because I was worried in case there is a reformulation along with the new bottles. There might not be, but I do prefer this bottle anyway. The reason I thought it was going to be different is because my Pomelo Paradis years ago came in a white box, a different, different box to this. So I assumed that meant that the bottle was going to be new. But anyway, what do I know? So I was spraying this a lot yesterday. I am going to spray it now. But for sure it still smells exactly as I remember, so I don't believe there's any reformulation with that version. But obviously, as I say, new bottle, who knows, hopefully not, probably not. I mean, they repackaged everything at once, so that says to me that they haven't reformulated, or things get reformulated, but in general, hopefully they haven't reformulated the whole line. This is such a happy perfume, Pomelo Paradis. Very much a pink grapefruity scent. So pomelo is kind of like a grapefruit, maybe even a variety of grapefruit. Those that know can chime in if you want on the comments exactly what a pomelo is. But to me, it's a sweet, pink, juicy grapefruit. As Pete said, he smelt sort of lemons. It's definitely got a touch of that bitter citrus about it. Very, very zesty, very alive, very vibrant, very, very natural smelling. I believe there's vetiver in the dry down. There's probably a few other notes as well. I'll pop those on the screen. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's bergamot. Maybe there could even be lemon, something a bit orangey, so maybe a mandarin or a clementine, like not a typical orange, but you know how mandarin and clementine have just got a little bit of more of a twang to them. They're a little bit more interesting as a perfume note. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's one of those in here. Yeah, it smells exactly as I remember. It's a beautiful, very natural, vibrant citrus. It's my favourite grapefruit scent that I've ever smelt. Guerlain do an Acqua Allegoria that's really nice as well, but this for me just tops it. I think because it has that sweetness to it, even though it doesn't have a vanilla note or any kind of like, sugar note or anything. It's just the sweetness of the actual grapefruit is so lovely. It's like you've got a grapefruit and you sprinkle on a little bit of sugar, but then you leave it for that sugar to kind of, how sugar will melt on a grapefruit, and you leave it for a while so that the sugar and the grapefruit become one, and you don't smell sugar, you don't necessarily taste sugar, you just taste sweet grapefruit. And that's what I get. Very, very lively. I smell the skin of citrus fruits. Like, just smelt that there, and it is literally taking me to chopping up various citrus fruits. It is so, so natural. I do need to properly wear it again, and I'm not going to talk about longevity. Back in the day, I got decent longevity from it. Everyone else, almost everyone else, says that their longevity from it is shit. But for me, it was fine. Not beast mode, not like 10 hours, but I would get an average working day out of it. And I don't think you really need that from very, very natural, fresh, zesty fragrances. The point is for them to refresh you and make you feel alive, but you don't need 12 hours out of something like that, and it would in fact have to have a ton of aroma chemicals and stuff to make it stick to you, that it would become clouded and just not nice. So I love it. I have decanted some ready to go on holiday with me next week. I'm going to Egypt, I'm going to take some Pomelo Paradis, but also I'm going to take, I've got another new fragrance. I'm going to take this, well, not this bottle, this is a 100ml bottle of Neroli Portofino Acqua. I prefer this version to the original Neroli Portofino. I have had both. I had both of them simultaneously. I had them both simultaneously at one point, and I still preferred the Acqua, but the original Neroli Portofino had been bought for me as a gift, and I felt like I should keep that. And I was having a bit of a cold, and I felt like I couldn't keep them both. So I got rid of the Acqua, and I'd used a lot of it, and there wasn't a great deal left anyway, but ever since I've been thinking I wouldn't mind having it back. There's something about this fragrance that is so special to me. Let's go on here. So the one thing, I say I don't layer, but when it comes to citrusy perfumes, I definitely will. If they're very unmuddied, if they're very clear, sort of simplistic, then I certainly will. If I don't exactly layer, then I would happily wear Pomelo Paradis around here and Neroli Portofino Acqua on my arms, or I might even spray one, let it sit for a while, and then slightly spray another one on top. But mostly, yeah, I would wear something up here and then something different on my arms. With citruses, I do really think that they can just be mixed and matched quite easily. Like probably most of those Aqua Allegorias, like the citrusy ones, can easily be layered and mixed and matched and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing that I love about Neroli Portofino Acqua, and why I love it more than the original, is because this has what comes across to me as a thick layer of fluffy, clean, almost laundry-like musk, and it's immediate. So you can smell the citrus. I mean, I don't know what the notes are. Of course, there is neroli. There's going to be a load of other citruses. It's certainly going to be bergamot, maybe orange. Because it's neroli, which comes from orange blossom, it might lean more on the orangey side of citruses. But yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't need to pick it apart and think, oh, do I smell a Calabrian lemon? Guess what? No one could fucking tell the difference between a Calabrian lemon and a Amalfi lemon. Well, I don't think you can anyway. Probably a top perfumer who studies them probably can. But within a composition, I think, anyway, we are digressing a little bit. You get a bunch of fresh citruses. It's not quite as full-on citrus rind as the Neroli, as the Pomelo. It's not quite so rindy. It's more juicy fruit, like freshly cut, but the juice rather than the rind. So very fresh, lively, natural citrus blend, leaning on the orange, leaning on the neroli, but the neroli doesn't go too bitter, so I don't find it to be that neroli that can smell like stinging nettles. It goes a little bit green. It's not doing that in here, so I wonder if that's to do with the other ingredients and how they react with it, or the level of how much neroli is actually in here. But I do instantly get this burst of like freshly washed clothes, but in the best possible way. You have got to like musk to like this perfume, and we're not talking dirty musks. This is clean AF. People talk about clean girl aesthetic. I hate all these cliches and, you know, these trending things. Clean girl aesthetic, that girl, it girl. What else is there? Looking rich but not really what is that? I don't know, you know what I mean, that understated quiet luxury. I mean, this would fit all of those categories if you really gave a shit about any of it. Me personally, I think just wear what you love and don't worry about the trends, don't worry about what season it is, don't worry about what anyone else thinks, don't worry about what the sheep on TikTok are telling you to do, or the Sheep on TikTok. I suppose the sheep on TikTok, the wolves. I don't know. Don't worry about what people on TikTok are telling you should be wearing. You don't have to wear Bianco Latte if you don't want to. Like, please don't. No, there's nothing wrong with that smell. It would make a nice candle, but do I want to smell like Bianco Latte? We are going off on a tangent, aren't we? How many people can I offend in one sentence? Maybe we shouldn't try that. Back to Neroli Portofino Acqua. Probably no one's talking about this really these days, especially now we're in winter. But again, as I said, I don't care about seasons. Yes, it definitely has a summery feel. Of course, you look at the colour, makes you think of the blue ocean, you know, in the Mediterranean, something like that. But I mean, it's Portofino, so yeah, I think that must be Mediterranean. But for me, I don't care, because I will wear this year round, because when I spray it, it makes me feel alive, it makes me feel clean, it makes me feel fresh, and it makes me think of summer. And I want to think of summer. Remind me of summer year round, because I find the winter so depressing. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I don't have a problem with performance year round on fragrances like this. In fact, citruses are probably going to do better in the winter when you're not hot and it's not burning off really quickly. I think the reason people wear citruses in the summer is to feel clean and refreshed, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time myself. But don't be afraid to reach for your fresh, citrusy, clean scents, or, you know, even your aquatics if you like that kind of thing. I'm not really an aquatic fan, but aquatics work really well in the winter as well. Pete, who you just met, he wears this Miyake quite a lot, just the original. Wears it year round. It smells really good, it smells clean and fresh, and, you know, nothing challenging, or it's just pleasant. You know, if you walk past someone in the street, they're just gonna think he smells quite pleasant and clean. And yeah, just wear your fragrances whenever you want, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks. But yeah, back to Neroli Portofino Acqua. I believe there must be a touch of vanilla in here. I don't think it's listed. It might still list an amber note, because Neroli Portofino lists an amber note. But again, Neroli Portofino, the original, to me it smells more musky than it does ambery. But it is a slightly sweetened musk, and the same goes for the Acqua version, except I just get a lot more musk. It comes out straight away, you don't have to wait for it. The original Neroli Portofino, very, very clean and clear, crisp floral citrus neroli opening with nothing at all like clouding that. Whereas the Acqua has this fluffy, powdery, musky thing that is immediately evident and then kind of takes over. So if you really like soft, fluffy, cloudy, laundry musk-esque fragrances, and you like to smell clean and fresh, then Neroli Portofino Acqua is a beautiful, beautiful example of that. I'm so pleased to have this back. I bought it on a fragrance group, so it's second-hand bottle. Had some, I've decanted about 4 or 5 ml for my holiday, but yeah, so it had some missing, but there's loads here with my collection. I'm not worried about running out, but this is one that I will probably respray quite a lot, because that opening's so nice with that really fresh citrusy neroli, and then but yeah, the dry down with that thick, luscious, cloud-like, clean musk. And as I said, slightly sweetened. I do feel like there's a hint of vanilla just sweetening that musk up. So absolutely love this. So happy to have it. And yeah, I've definitely bought a few things this last couple of weeks or a few weeks, but I think I'm going to try and stop now. I've got one thing on my wish list at the moment that's kind of like, is it just the one thing? I think so. One main thing on my wish list right now, which is number 5 Eau Premiere. So Chanel number 5 Eau Premiere. But I'm not going to rush. I keep seeing it on eBay. There's not loads about. I did find out that it's not discontinued. I thought it was like a limited or a discontinued fragrance. But I got to smell it in H Beauty at Lakeside shopping in Essex, and found out that it is just a boutique only thing. Anyway, I tried it only on paper because I'd already tried a few things on skin, and I really liked it. So I am enjoying Chanel No. 5 right now. It felt maybe like it was slightly more vanillic and less ambery, a little less aldehydic, just a slightly more youthful version, but still it smelled like Chanel No. 5, definitely linked, definitely a flanker, but it was, yeah, it was really nice, like lighter, maybe something more applicable to warmer weather, but it was on paper, so I can't really say too much because paper is just not a test. But it was enough to know that I'm probably going to really like it. So that's on my wish list, but I'm not rushing because I have just bought a few bits and pieces. But I did want to come back to you about some things. I just did a video the other day about this one from Guerlain, which is the Neroli Outrenoir. I have been wearing it over the last few days as well. In fact, this is my main scent of the day. And I've got some more observations on it. Yes, I am definitely really liking it. Happy to take this one on holiday as well. There's something I didn't mention about it. There is this fruitiness that sometimes makes me think of fig and sometimes makes me think of peach. But there is this fluffy, if you imagine the skin of a peach, there's almost like the texture of that and the thought of that. Something that leans in that peach slash figgy area without it being like a definite peach note or a definite fig or even apricot. I don't feel like it's an osmanthus note, but it is in that direction of peach slash apricot slash fig. So there is this general fruity accord within it. Also makes me think of peach tea. You know, why am I smelling it like that? You know, is it lemon ice? You know, peach iced tea, or like you've got lemon tea, you peach iced tea. I don't actually drink that kind of thing because I hate tea, all tea. I drink mint tea, but that's because it's not really tea, it's just mint. But it does make me think of those flavoured teas. Is it Lipton? It's Lipton, isn't it, in the yellow tins? And I think there's a peach variety, and it makes me think of that. So there is something a little peachy, fruity. It's not just the citrus that makes this fruity. There's definitely something along that orangey, you know, orange coloured fruits. But could also come, I'm doing it again, like trying to, it's because that feels like the lid, but it's not. Yeah, it just comes across, I would say more peachy than figgy, but imagine if peach and fig met and melded together and then like got really fluffy and soft. Kind of like that, but it's subdued with all the other, you know, citruses, neroli, black tea, earthy notes, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this. I've been really enjoying wearing it. It smells expensive without smelling like everything else that is, you know, all the niche perfumes coming out these days. It smells a little bit different. It does have this sort of musky, clean muskiness in the dry down, which of course I love. And yeah, so thoroughly enjoying a Neroli Outrenoir. But on the opposite side of things, I talked to you about these two ladies here. So this is Classique Corset Rockstar, which I believe is just the same juice as Classique. It's the eau de toilette. I enjoyed wearing it. I did a little review in that last video and I left it very positive. But later on that day, I really felt like there's something very synthetic about this perfume. And it's, I mentioned I could tell, or I felt like there was ISOE super in there. That didn't, I wasn't noticing it for a long period of time, so whether there is or whether there's something similar, it didn't take over. The other notes in the base notes are strong enough that you don't really notice it after a while, if that is the case, if there is ISOE in there after all. But the base notes are very similar to the base notes of Le Male, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. So very, very musky and fluffy and kind of clean with an edge. But I just felt like there's nothing natural about this anymore. Like, I really enjoyed the first couple of hours. I felt like there's a little bit of, there could be naturals in here, you know, the neroli, the orange blossom, whatever. But after a couple of hours, there's just this very thick, fluffy, musky thing, but very heavy-handed and a sort of touch soapy. And it was a bit much for me. It felt like there was nothing natural there at all. And I just thought, I just don't see me wearing this. I really enjoyed the first couple of hours, but I really can't see me wanting to wear this again. And so that's going back on eBay. That's good, because I don't want to build some huge collection. As I said before, I really want to, if I introduce some new things into my collection, then I absolutely need to get rid of stuff. And that was a curiosity buy. And I'm not mad, because I got it for a really good price. I might even make a little bit of a profit, which will go towards spending money on our holiday, which will be fabulous. And yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know. Very, very positive about the Neroli Outrenoir. I think it's beautiful. And the Classique, I don't dislike it, but it just slightly annoyed my nose. My perception of it was that it's very synthetic, but not in that way that I'm always moaning about. Not those modern, really dry, woody aroma chemicals, not the woody ambers, nothing like that. These are, you know, this is a 90s perfume, and I don't feel like they've added anything like that into this. I mean, this was like early 2000s, wasn't it? But you know, the original Classique. And so no, it's not that it contains any of those things that I really hate. It's just that the whole thing in general in the dry down not exactly cloying, but it just sort of aggravated my nose a little bit. Not in a really dry and screechy way, just that it felt like there's nothing natural here. There's nothing natural left here. It's just this sort of soapy, thick, musky thing that is fine. You know, I can wear it. I won't feel like I'd smell bad, but life's too short to wear anything that you just find okay. You know, everything I wear, if I'm going to give it skin time, I want it to be something that makes me happy, that makes me feel positive things, you know, that I want to find it beautiful or interesting or, you know, whatever, but it needs to do good things to my mood or whatever. And the Classique thing just didn't. It's just not quite for me. So I understand why it's got a lot of love. I understand why it's still, you know, it's still selling today. So there's a reason for that. It's just, it wasn't quite for me. I think that's long enough, really. I just wanted to have this little catch up with you, and yeah, just meander along with my thoughts about a few perfumes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, do give me a thumbs up, do subscribe, it really, really does help, and I will catch you in another video. Bye bye.